Welcome back. Now, you may be asking the question, what if you were to use a website in order to build your list? Now, obviously, throughout this course, you've seen a very easy method of list building and creating an online income that really did not require you to have or use a website. And you can certainly use that method and you will be perfectly fine. Now, everything that we've discussed about list building will work just as well, if not better, if you have your own hosting and your own website. Now, several of the processes that we've gone over will be easier and provide more continuity for your customers if you use a website in order to communicate with them. Now, there are several, probably many, free website building platforms that you can use that don't require hosting. You can go to WordPress.com or Blogger.com or Wix or any of those platforms in order to build your website. Now, most marketers tend to get their own hosting space and they use WordPress as their website builder. Now, if you aren't technical and all of that seems to be overwhelming, each of the steps we're going to be talking about in the next few videos can be completed by someone on the Fiverr website. These things can be outsourced and they can be outsourced inexpensively. So don't be overwhelmed by them. If you don't feel as if you want to do them or they seem to be too complicated or they stop you from progressing, look, just send them over to someone else to do them and then you reap the benefit. There's no reason for you to have to do anything that will keep you from moving in your online marketing business. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about outsourcing on Fiverr and other sites. And obviously, we have been talking about that for a few videos. Now let's take a look at what that would actually mean. You are now looking at the website Fiverr. And there are a number of services that you can have done by service providers for $5. And it is probably your starting place. When you have a small task that you want to have done, you will want to check here in Fiverr to see if it is something that you can actually have done. Now, in one case, we talked about the fact that you can have a graphic done, you can have your website installed. There are a number of things that you can have done. You can see here we have typed in WordPress installed, and there are people who can solve just about any problem with WordPress. They're willing to do this for $5. The key in using Fiverr is to make sure that you're getting someone who is highly recommended and who has already completed various jobs and done a great job at it. And again, it's just like any other rating system. You want to find people with high ratings who can get the job done within a reasonable period of time for you. And just about any service that you want, you'll want to go here. You want to put your service inside of the search bar, and then you'll want to look for the person who has the highest rating and then go with that person. Now, if you want to move from, you don't want to have your service done on Fiverr, or maybe it's something that just requires a little more sophistication, you can use a site like Elance to find a freelancer. You can also use Odesk, very same kind of service, as well as you can use the Warrior form that does various tasks if you go inside of one of the sub forums, Warriors for Hire, and you can find people that actually will be able to complete your task for your marketing business. So when you start thinking about tasks that you find that are too complicated, remember, start first with Fiverr, then go to the other sites to see if it is something that you can have done. Anything that you can have done that is not marketing related, that doesn't really require your expertise, these are the kinds of things that you want to start thinking about outsourcing here at the very beginning. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're just going to discuss a brief step. Obviously, if you're going to have a website, you are going to need a domain name, and we'll just show you how to do that briefly in case you haven't done this before. Now, obviously, there are a number of places where you can get a domain name. Most marketers will be using either the website Namecheap or they'll use GoDaddy. Both of these companies are used to internet marketers, and their setup is fairly easy once you actually purchase hosting. So once you know what your domain name is, if you want to name it something around your niche, or if you want to brand it around yourself, you can do that. Of course, when possible, you want to get a .com if you can. Otherwise, it's a pretty simple process. You're going to need to buy a domain name, get your account set up, and then once you've done that, you'll be ready to go on to the next step. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to go through the next step in building your website. You are going to want to purchase your own hosting account, and that's a fairly simple process. I'm going to show you two companies that a number of internet marketers use. However, you can use whatever company that you feel most comfortable with, but these are two companies that probably the bulk of internet marketers are going to be using in one way or another. Now you are going to see a number of marketers using HostGator, and it's fairly simple to get an account started. You're just going to go ahead and sign up for an account, and if you're only going to have one website, you can always come back and expand. There's no need to go and get reseller or VPS or any of those things yet until you have more websites. And when you get started, you can just go ahead and get your basic hosting account from HostGator. A number of marketers will also use Bluehost. The prices are comparable. You might be tempted to use someplace like GoDaddy or Namecheap because you got your domain names there, but it's recommended that you use a different company for your domain name that you do for your hosting. So that is why we are showing you both HostGator and Bluehost as opposed to the other two companies, GoDaddy and Namecheap, both of which will sell hosting. But again, make sure that if you possibly can, use a different company for your hosting and for your website, because when there's a problem, you want to be able to isolate that problem, and it's easier to isolate the problem when you have those two sources in different places. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to connect our hosting and domain name, and it's a very brief process, but it is one that you want to take note of. Once again, now I would suggest that if this is something that you just don't want to do, consider having this outsourced either on Fiverr or consider having it outsourced on Elance or Odesk. So if the process is a little too technical, you don't want to do it, just have the process outsourced. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look. Now when you work with a company like HostGator, they're going to give you some information in your account information about name servers. Right now in this particular case, these two name servers are going to be unique. And what you're going to do with these name servers is you're going to go over to your domain name and you're going to use these name servers. This is the information. You're probably going to get it in an email. And you're going to connect your domain name with the name servers at your hosting account. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to take a look over here in GoDaddy. And this is an actual domain name. So what you would do is you'd go inside of the name servers area. Now this particular case, it's already got some name servers in there, but if we wanted to change it, we'd click Manage. And then we'd basically type in custom name servers, and we'd put in that information that we got here from HostGator, right, which is likely in an email or likely someplace on your dashboard inside of HostGator. You're going to put this information in here, add your name servers, and then it's going to take it could take up to 24 to 48 hours. That's what they typically say. And it could be shorter, so you want to be checking back and forth to make sure that your hosting account and your domain name are connected. But you'll need to give it some time. It's not going to happen instantaneously. It typically is going to take a little while. So once you've done that, then you will have your domain name set, and you will then have your hosting ready to go, and you will be ready then to build your website. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.